What's going on? This is Jordan Wagner with PremierGuitar.com here with Z.Vex of Z.Vex Effects. And he's going to introduce us to his newest invention, or rather possibly your newest invention, the Inventobox. How you doing, Zach?
Good to see you again. Very good to see you.
So go ahead and introduce us to the Inventobox.
Inventobox, and in its rawest form, it's got thumb screws you turn here to open it up. And when you get on the inside, you see there's nothing in there. It's an experimenter socket. It's got little drawings that show you how the pots are connected. Each one of these little pots has got a value on it. You can see in there all the little numbers. And there's 3 holes for each one of the pots and 2 holes for each one of the LEDs. It's 2 rows, one on this side, one on this side. There should be a sticker here it's missing. And that sits right there while you're building it up. Inside here there are jacks, a little work light, and the jacks are connected to these pots, these spare pots and these spare LEDs and switches. And the lower row of jacks is connected to the 2 stomp switches here and here. And also there's switches in here to convert the function of switch number 2 from a channel to tap tempo. So basically you can have 2 channels, 2 effects that you build up on this circuit board, and then using these cables, these wires here are used to interconnect everything on the breadboard, and also to connect over to the pots. In fact, let me show you an example of that. Here's one that's been built up already. This one's got 3 modules in it. 3 modules that I've developed so far. We're working on lots more modules, but these are the ones we developed in the last couple of weeks. Right here, this is a super hard-on module. That's a Fuzz Factory module with the germanium transistors. And this is a Marshall-style tone stack. Sorry, Jim. The Marshall-style tone stack is connected up after the Fuzz Factory in this particular case. And what it does is it follows up the Fuzz Factory with a treble, mid-range, and bass control. The way we got this configured, the super hard-on is wired up so that it goes to this pot right here, which ends up being in this corner. Now, in a real situation, you'd want to label these knobs up with a thin piece of artist tape or perhaps individual stickers so that you know exactly what the pots do. But I can tell you what they are basically. These are the 5 standard knobs of a Fuzz Factory over here. This right here is the super hard-on. That's a hangnail. And these are the 3 knobs for the tone stack, bass, mid-range, and treble. When you turn on switch number 1, you're going to be turning on the Fuzz Factory and the tone stack. Switch number 2 turns on the super hard-on booster. When you're working on this thing, the lid locks onto the stomp switches so that it can't move around. That way, it's totally stable. When you're moving it around, it doesn't come off. You can work on it horizontally this way, hook up all the wires, get everything going. These cables, it comes with a complete set of those. They're all for different functions. There's ones for the 2-prong holes, and we don't have the sticker inside that one, but you can see these. There are 3-prong and 2-prong jacks, so we have 3-prong and 2-prong plugs, different types of wiring. And then there's also complete sets of wires for connecting up this, as I said before. And here are what the modules look like when they're not inserted into the board. They're like integrated circuits, like a hybrid version of an integrated circuit.
So not only does it give the player the option of combining all these effects at once, but they can also modify the effects themselves to have a different tonality than they originally did, right?
Yeah. These, we have extra pins on here. And if you look really closely, there's little jumpers right here. The little silver jumpers. I can see if I got something I can point at them with. Right there. There's 3 of them on the tone stack. You can pull them out and change the center frequencies of the treble, mid-range, and bass zone, so you can kind of move the mid-range around, move the treble around, make it more wispy, make the bass deeper, or move it up into the mids more, whatever you like. By pulling out those jumpers, it gives you room to put in capacitors and resistors to switch things around. Same with the Fuzz Factory. There's a jumper here, and the transistors are external, plugged into the socket, so you can add components there too. People can make the Fuzz Factory brighter or less bright. They can make it so it has more bass or less bass. A lot of people have talked about changing the tone of the Fuzz Factory. I've never changed it, but this will let them actually do it themselves. And it doesn't take much to do it. A part here or a part there. I'll include instructions with that when you get the instructions with the module, when you get the modules in the little module kit. And the super hard-on has also got the ability to change tones too.
So what configurations can people buy these in?
Well, it comes 2 ways. You can buy it as a raw box with no modules at all. You get the Inventobox the thumb screws, the wires, cables, not this, the tools for taking off the knobs and the pots and moving them around. And actually, that's pretty easy to do. I didn't really talk about that. If you want to move the pots around and change the order, take off these thumb nuts, remove that tray, and these pots easily come out. They're all individual. They come out with their own little sockets on them. In fact, there's a couple spares that come in your kit, so you've got extra values. And I've kind of done a demographic study of different pedals to decide what values to include, so you have basically every value you need. We'll have extra ones to sell if you need them. Once you've got their pots in the right spot, and you put all the knobs back on and screw it all back together, you can start wiring it up. This version sells for $299, which is the Inventobox with the whole kit of wires and the tools. And the version that's got the 3 modules, the Super Hard-On Fuzz Factory and Tone Stack, sells for $399. And that also comes with all these tools.
So where can people find out more about this and more about the concepts you have planned for it in the future?
Well, it's not up on Z.Vex.com yet, but when I get back from NAMM, I'm going to write up a bunch of stuff, and you should be able to read about what my plans are for the future. Forums that I plan to have set up for people to share ideas and get question answers. And also ideas that I've got for development, for open source sort of development, different modules by different makers. I'm hoping that we can get other people on board over the next few years.
Great, sounds awesome. Good luck. Thanks a lot, Zach. Appreciate it. This is Jordan Wagner, and you're watching PremierGuitar.com.